that was close. Arjac Rockfist is the wielder of a hammer the size of my self-esteem and now victim to my paintbrush. Sorry. As promised, today I am giving him the paint job he deserves. Let's say a full Viking treatment, gold, little battle damage, and maybe a few questionable decisions along the way. Let's paint this well-made model from Games Workshop. Hi, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I wanted to say, before we continue this painting video, from my bottom of my heart, I am very thankful for the people out there who watch my content. Thanks to you all, we reached 500 subs, and I couldn't imagine that. So you guys are killing it. So thanks, and let's continue the video. So at first you will get your model primed with, I used Mechanical Standard Grey, you can use White Scar and so on. And later then there will be some spots that the spray can didn't reach, so you can use the base paint, and I used the Mechanical Standard Grey, the same color. So, and now to the base color, that would be Russ Grey, and I'm going to use in thin layers, perhaps in 2 or 3 thin layers, but it's different to everyone. And yeah, after 2 thin coats, it should look like this. So yeah, sometimes I do need 3, but it works. So you want to use the Fang and Rhinox Hide in 1:1 ratio with Lahmian Medium. So 1 drop of Fang and Rhinox Hide and Lahmian Medium on your dry palette. And this is how it should look like. Now you're going to add the color that you mixed in the recesses as recess shade. This is how it looks like. And if you find it too dark, you can go over with the with Russ Grey. So now I'm going to use Eshin Grey on the for the battle damage. That would be the bullet holes on the armor. Yeah, after the Eshin Grey has been applied, I will use Dawnstone Grey on my shield and on his shoulder pad and on his knee. And then add Nuln Oil after the Eshin Grey has been dried. Now, and yeah, we will use now Abaddon Black, Abaddon Black on the black areas. That would be under the armor and shoulder pad and so on. I have applied the Abaddon Black, the color Abaddon Black on my mini and on all black areas. Now I'm going to use Leadbelcher for all my metallic parts. That would be like his hammer, the anvil on top of his head, and yeah, I think that would be all. Actually, there are other parts. Yes, there are other metallic parts, and yeah. Yeah, and so after you got your Leadbelcher done, we are going to, I think I said it already, but I will say it again. We will use Nuln Oil and put it on our Leadbelcher, on all our metallic parts that has been used with the color Leadbelcher. So yeah, and I'm going to carefully apply it. I'm not going to overdo it. So yeah. Now I'm going to take Retributor Armour on all my gold parts. That would be on the shield. I don't know what's called on or on the side of the shield. I don't know. And then later, I think when the gold part is done, I'm going to take Ungor Flesh shade and will apply it on my gold part. And now I'm going to use Rhinox Hide on all my brown areas, the leather, for example, and so on. So yeah, so I'm going to take Gracia and edit, well, paint my ropes with it, and of course there's the wolf for, yeah, the wolf on his shoulder pad that is going to be drawn with, well, painted with Gracia. So you either shade the white with Nuln Oil, or you can use the alternative thing that would be the use Abaddon Black and Lahmian Medium in ratio of 1 to 1. So our white is done. And now the handle is missing that I have forgotten, unfortunately. But yeah, we are going to use Flesh Terror's Red and obviously shake the paint well, and yeah. So we got all technically all our base color done. If I want to go further, that would be use highlights, and my first highlight would be for the power armor Fenrisian Grey. So I'm going to apply Fenrisian Grey carefully on the edges, and as in my highlight, I at first was like going to do it's a chunky highlight, but then I was like it's going to look horrible. So I decided to do it as an edge highlight or highlight. And yeah, so yeah, and I'm trying to do that I'm using my brush so that it is going uh, in my direction. This is how it looks like the shield and the highlights that have been applied on the mini. So now we are going to use horror blue. Is it horror blue or is it blue horror? Sorry. So yeah, carefully. This is used very carefully on the edges, very on the sharp edges, or where the light is the strongest. So, so this is how I would have done it. So, looking good, but the shield is missing. We will use blue horror as a highlight for the shield, and yeah, I think that would be it. And yeah. So, sorry because of the light. The light was, yeah, well, stupid. Doesn't matter. We will use now Eshin Grey for the black areas, for the beard, for the shoulder pad, for the, uh, well, the under the armor, and so on. So, and now we're going to use, Dawnstone as our very fine highlight on the beard and the black areas again. And yeah. So we will now use white scar for our highlight for the white areas. That would be the rope. Yeah, I forgot to paint, well, paint the crystals. That would be Mephiston Red and Salted Green. These are two colors I'm going to use on these crystals, and yeah. Alrighty then. For our blue crystals, I'm going to make a mix of white scar and salted green. Mix it and then apply it on the mini. Not completely, but I would say 50-50%, something like that. And yeah, then yeah, that would be all. And yeah, that would be all. Yeah, after you got your blue crystals done, actually, I would also focus on the red crystals, and I would just take Wilder Red, but you can take, or you can also take Evil Sun Scarlet and then Wilder Red, but I took straight away Wilder Red. So it's quite done. Just the gold is remaining. I think the belt is also remaining. Yeah, we will use Stormhost Silver for the gold as a highlight. Yeah, so now to the belt. Yeah, we will take Ungor Flesh and Rhinox Hide as a 1-to-1 ratio mix. So technically, I am done. I could go on. I mean, I will go on actually. For few people who don't want to watch furthermore, they can. Well, I'm going to do the lightning effect from the faux hammer. It's called, I think. And yeah, so now for the glowing effect, we are going to use Grey Seer as a darker, yeah, white with Lahmian Medium and apply it on the runes on his hand and on his hammer, and yeah. So after you got your white done, you have you will have to use, or you don't have to use it, but it's how I did it. Frostheart and contrast medium in 1-to-1 mix and carefully apply it on the mini. Arjac Rockfist, champion, hero of Fenris. And yeah, your Wolf Guard of Logan Grimnar. And yeah, so if you just before, yeah, forgot to tell you, by the runes where I use the lightning effect, you can use Frostheart again, so it goes a little bit darker. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. I will gladly answer them. And yeah, so I will see you in the next one. Asterion out.